Hi there, folks. Simon here. This is game 2 of the finals of the second 2022 Intermediate Invitational Tak Tournament. This is going to be between Will and dopeMedic. Will is going to be in white, dopeMedic in black. We did see game 1 played, and dopeMedic ended up losing to a Tinuë on turn 15. It was a great setup. It was well done. So it was easy to miss, totally understandable. But dopeMedic does need to win this if he wants a shot at winning the tournament. He needs to force this into a blitz tiebreaker. Will take the win if he does win this game and win the whole tournament, getting first pick of those wonderful, beautiful handcrafted capstone prizes. The Kilvin's lamps or the sun and moon capstones. As a reminder, they are playing on a 6x6 board. This is 15 minutes on the clock with a 10-second increment, meaning 10 seconds get added to their time after every turn they take. And also there is 2 komi. That means that if the game does not end in a road, 2 gets added to Black's flat count score. So without any further ado, let's jump right in to game 2 of this finals match. All right, we see an A6 placement here, and then adjacent corners with the F6, and then white immediately going into that knight's opening. Very, very popular and very common opening now after Fwib had so much success with it in the past. Now we're going to see black playing out across, trying to cut off white from this starting flat. White dropping that early capstone. Now, the early capstone is a really strong placement. It's very centrally located. It really builds off that location. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good spot, I think. This capstone is going to be pretty strong. It's going to be very central to both of their lines. Black is building this horizontal, white's building this horizontal. Black's got to build something. And they drop their own capstone here. I actually think that's a pretty solid spot. That is not a bad place for the capstone. The capstone is still close enough to their own horizontal line that it's not going to break anything. If black plays here to stop this horizontal at b5, they can now go for their own vertical, though white is going to be ahead in terms of momentum in that regard. But if they do get ahead in momentum and they're both going for this vertical, black can still use this d5 to come left onto c5 and cut that off and take that momentum back. So I don't think it's a bad idea here to go for this vertical. And I think white is likely going to play at c3 on this next turn. And that'll continue because this continues their vertical and horizontal line by playing at c3 because they can switch gears, go over this way, and cut things off. But instead they play down to e3. Now, I don't think e3 was as strong. Black comes right immediately, ready to make their own tak threat. And they've made this tak threat. White has to come up and capture that with their capstone. This is where I think black can start taking that momentum back. Placing at b4 would give them momentum in that vertical direction, but instead they place at d4, thinking more ahead of, okay, want to place this here to stop white from getting a connection here, but white's got this capstone that can throw all the way over to f5, and they've seen that, and they've decided to build for this vertical line. And that's a pretty good spot. Black can't throw this capstone right if they eventually need to, because it would lead to white making that connection anyway. So this is a good play from white. I think black should have gone for their own momentum here by placing at b4, playing a little too defensively here. But we do notice they're both playing fairly quickly. We're 10 turns in. Will just now below that 15-minute mark, and dopeMedic at 15:20. So playing on average, Will around 10 seconds per turn, dopeMedic quicker than 10 seconds per turn. Now we're going to see white likely drop here at d3 after this is cut it off. This does renew the tak threat. Black misses it. White's going to capture... Oh, wait. No, this isn't a attack threat. My bad. I thought for sure that was a attack threat, but I was mistaken. There needs to be a flat here at D2 for that to be a attack threat. My bad, my bad. Now it's attack threat. that white can bring E4 left to complete that road. Now, I'm sure black will be able to see that, but what move will they make in order to counter it? I'm thinking D4 minus is going to be the move made. No, we're going to go for E5 minus. That also works. And I like that too, because E5 minus sure gives a liability and white can recapture it at some point, but it also makes a threat, and black's got this capstone that can come up and recapture to stop that. But white came down with a capstone, and now black has to stop white's new threat. So black made a threat to stop white's threat. Now white's making a threat to stop black's threat. Solid moves here. Black dropping that wall. Really wants to make sure he doesn't give away any positioning here. Gonna probably have a white place a flat at E5 on this next turn. That's my guess, at least. And if white places at E5, black may decide to drop at E6 or start going for this vertical line. I think black should have gone for the vertical line a little bit earlier in the game. Interesting placement. So white plays at B2. Now, that's an interesting spot because white's sort of anticipating black to play for this vertical. They don't get there immediately, but it's there on this turn now. And then white can also go for their horizontal with that same move. So that's a pretty smart play. One that doesn't seem too great initially, but I'd say that's a pretty smart play right there. White drops a flat at C1. We see that B1 placement now from black. So black is going to be placing at B3 at some point to begin that tak threat. Or if white plays there first, black places at C3 to take that tak threat. Really pushing that momentum. Both players are really trying to get that threat in there as quick as possible, so they can sort of force their opponent to make moves that are suboptimal. So white drops here at A2, and the reason this is great is because if black plays here at B3, for example, or at C3, so this is a threat for black, but white can come up with C2, and this is a threat for white. And sure, black can cut it off by capturing up with B1, but then we've got a lot of flat-on-flat captures over here, a lot of liabilities being made. This is an interesting position. I still think white has a much stronger position right now, and then being able to play at E5 at some point is still really strong. Not a threat right then, of course, but it is building towards one. It would have been a threat had B1 not come up, of course. So black did come up and stop this threat, at least momentarily. White may decide to drop just a flat here at B1 to recover, or drop a wall at B3 or B1 to come down and recover that flat and make another tak threat. But I think a flat does a great job of it. Let's take a look at flat count right now. So 10 for white, 10 for black, including Comey. So 8 for black, but 10 with Comey. So white's doing a really great job right now of keeping ahead on flats. So white can place a flat now and be ahead. So it would be 11 to 10. And so black would have to play some catch up if white drops a flat here instead of a wall. I think a flat here at b1 is a really great play. A flat at e5 I don't think would be as strong right now, but I do like the idea of a flat at e5 eventually. Now if white plays, let's see, if white plays at b1 and black captures right, white doesn't want to really immediately capture it, but they'll probably want to drop a wall here at c1. And the wall at c1 will keep black from making that road. And then the wall can come up and recapture that. But then that black stack could come right and make this great positive flat count differential move. Ooh, yeah, that's a tricky position to be in, actually, now that I'm looking ahead. I'm sure that Will has already looked at that, and that's why he's taking so much time on this turn. We do see dopeMedic still under 10 seconds per turn on average, still playing basically above the start time, really building that buffer. Will, on the other hand, is down to 4 minutes less time, so he's got 11 on the clock. White now plays at c1. We may see black play at b1 here, making that threat. Now, black playing at b1 making that threat allows white to drop a wall here to stop it. So that's actually a pretty good play, to drop the flat at c1 instead of b1, as that doesn't result in the positive flat count differential move over there. And if black instead fills, ooh, gonna instead capture right. So if white wants to win this capture war, they've got to use d2 on it. So white could come up with c1, but if black comes down, white's got to take it with d2. And if they do that, black is then free to come down with a capstone to capture that stack, because d2 would no longer be part of that that block here, because this black capstone is sort of pinned in its position. If it moves down or moves left, white just places here and then takes a road. So black can capture down now, and if this comes left, black can recapture with the capstone. If white instead drops a wall somewhere, black can use this to spread across and make the positive flat count differential move. If white doesn't drop the wall here, then black is free to place at or make the positive flat count differential move, either one. I like how this turned out for black. Does drop the wall. I imagine we're going to see this spread to the right. If it spreads to the right, white may bring that capstone down onto d2, because that's going to be 3 flats in this stack, unless he brings the whole thing over and spreads 1, 3, 2. Wait. Yeah, 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, 2 would make it so white couldn't recover 3 flats in one move, but making it just 3, 2 would give white the opportunity to get that stack. Now black can also think about here, okay, I can't wait for this to come down and then smash, because that would still lead to a road for white. So yeah, I think taking 1, 3, 2 here, and that's exactly what he does. 6c2 right 1, 3, 2 is the move. And if you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, that's over here on the left. That is the portable tak notation. It's how we discuss and describe moves in tak. And it's very simple to learn, and I do have a video about that called PTN, or Portable Tak Notation, in Tak University. So black has made this positive flat count differential move. White is no longer ahead on flats. In fact, is trailing quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, including the Comey. So 7 to 11. Though white is dropping this wall here, ready to capture right and trying to recover all these captives. Black playing down below, going for this vertical line. White going to play there to stop black from going for that right away. Yeah, this wall is now in a pretty solid position to recover these, and that is a dangerous position for black to be in. While winning that stack and making that spread was pretty good, it did create a lot of liabilities for these 3 stacks right here. And so white is going to be able to do some damage with those if they get that wall on top. And black's capstone is pretty separated from these, won't be able to get over there and smash the wall and stop anything from happening. Though black's capstone is currently unpinned, it was previously pinned, it is now unpinned. And white's capstone hasn't been pinned this whole time. So if black does place at e5 at some point, that would pin white's capstone. So that's something that black should probably think about doing at some point. Placing up there at e5. White does make the capture with the wall onto d2. What black will do here is interesting. This wall may come down onto e2 to keep white from taking it with their own wall. I could see that happening, and I don't think that would be a bad play. Black instead fills, making a threat. So black can come down, smash this wall on c3 to make a road. So white could come back with the wall to cover that up, or could come down with this wall onto c2, because they do have this wall in reserve, and still be able to recover these, but doesn't. Instead comes left with that wall. Interestingly, now white can take this on the next turn and bring this whole stack and capture onto e2, and then if black replays here, white can just bring it right back. So that wouldn't. Oh wait, yeah, as long as they keep. So as long as they do 3c2 right 1 2, yeah, it would not be a road for black, and white would get possession of this stack and would also keep black from building that road there. That's a strong spot, I'd say. The white does still have this reserve c5 flat they can bring left onto b5. It's been there for a long time. It's not really doing anything for white at the moment, other than being part of the pin that white had for a while that is no longer active. We do see dopeMedic has finally started taking his time in this game, down to 12 minutes on the clock, whereas Will is at 9. Black plays here at b1. So playing at b1 does make it so white is no longer able to throw this wall over to e2. If they do, white can throw the d2 stack left and capture onto b2 and complete that road. So a nice sneaky little move there. That's the best kind of move for me that I really enjoy, is when you've got somebody about to make a move you don't want them to make, instead of blocking them with a wall or a capture or something like that, you play in such a way that if they make that move, they lose because they give you a road. And so if you're able to do that, that's always, for me, something that just feels really great. It's a great way to block a move instead of the traditional ways that you would think about. So playing it so they put themselves in a trap is the best way to do it. At least in my head. I don't know if strategically it's the best way, but in my head, I'm a big fan of that. So white did play down here at d1. This stops black from going for sort of a horizontal road line down here at the bottom, but also rebuilds this pin on black's capstone. So black may decide to drop a flat here at e5 to set the pin in place for white's capstone. I don't think that would be a bad idea, especially because white may decide to play up there as well and go for that vertical line now that d1 is in place. And they have a few other options like that. Black instead plays over at a1, potentially trusting in a flat advantage here. Let's take a look. I'm sure they're ahead. So 12, 14 for black is what it looks like. There's no way white has 14. 10 for white. So 14 for black, 10 for white. Pretty strong position, I'd say, for black then. White still has a lot they can do. It's not anywhere near over yet. We do see a lot of reserves left for both players. So there's a lot of moves left to be made in this game. White might decide to play up here at a3. I only say that because for me, setting up for a stronger play for black includes playing at a3. And so dropping a flat here at a3 sounds pretty good. But white can still drop at e5, and that would be pretty good for them as well. They do have this wall here that can come left onto b3 and stop what black's building towards for this vertical line. So I think that's not too bad. It wouldn't be able to come down with the capstone and smash on c2 because it would leave a road behind for white. So yeah, probably playing up here at e5 is a good measure because it's offensive and white knows they've got both c5 and c3 ready to come left and interrupt this road threat. But instead, white's going to be playing over here at f1, I guess going for their own horizontal down here at the bottom. Though this wall is kind of mucking things up. Not sure what the play is here for black. Probably a3 still. I do like a3 there. Unless that gives white too much time to set up. White can also come up and capture onto f2 with that flat. And that would potentially be problematic. E5, A3, A1 plus, all of those work out just fine for black. But I like the idea of a placement here more than anything else because black does have a lot of those flats to rely on. The flat count is strong right now for black. Playing at f3 also works too to help protect this f2 stack. That's also not too bad of a spot. Black can try going for a board fill. Got quite a few spaces left. 2, 4, 6, 7, I think. 7 spots left to fill. And white has plenty of opportunities to make captures. Black does ultimately go for that a3 move. Probably building up for that capture up with a2. Though what I think works best is if he can get a4 in before he makes that, then he's golden. It's got to be Tinuë from that point on. But I doubt black will let him get a4 in without building their own threat of some kind or stopping the momentum here. But he is building towards a Tinuë here. If he does get that a4 in, he can get that a1 plus and really cut things off there. But ultimately, I'm liking both of their positions. Black has, for me, come into the lead right now. Does seem to be a bit stronger and more controlling the position, which of course means that on the very next move, white's going to do something that makes me totally change my story, change my tune here, and say that white's in the lead, because that's exactly what happens every time I say one person is doing better or is in the lead. It switches immediately. So sorry, I've jinxed you, dopeMedic. We do see Will taking quite a bit of time here. He is down to below 6 minutes on the clock. dopeMedic still at 9:42, it looks like. So a pretty significant buffer, about 4 minutes between the two players. And that is a big time buffer, especially when you get down to the end game like this. When positions start to get really tricky, if you've got an extra 4 minutes on your opponent and they're getting down to the increment, then you are sitting in a happy place because you've got plenty of time to think and they have to scramble. And that often leads to just poor decisions, bad moves, and ultimately losing the game. We did see some very quick play from dopeMedic, of course, in the Blitz tournaments, the Blitz tiebreaker matches in this tournament. But I haven't seen that from Will in this tournament at all because, again, he hasn't had to play any of these Blitz. So White does come left with this wall, and that was a smart play. Keeps Black from building into this Tinuë position. Black might still want to play at a4 here, though it wouldn't be nearly as strong. That was a solid move. That wall coming left onto b3, I'd say, was a really good move there. Now, what can Black do to stop that? That's the question I've got here. Ooh, you know what? You know what? I kind of want Black to come left with this wall and smash c2 after. Because that would be a threat horizontally and vertically. If he can get a chance to smash c2, he's got to first stop, unpin White's capstone. Or unpin his own capstone, sorry. He's got to unpin his own capstone. But I think the only way to do that without ruining the setup is coming left with this wall. But if he comes left with the wall stack, and White smashes, no, White can't smash because that would lead to a road. Yeah, come left with the wall stack. Come left with the wall stack here on d3. I think that's going to work out really well if he does that. Comes left, Black comes down, smashes. Unless White becomes wise, moves this wall stack out of the way, which is a potential for sure. White may decide onto that e2 stack. Now he can totally do that. He can bring this wall over onto e2 without fear of retaliation, because this is no longer a threat if he does that. But Black drops a flat at c3 to stop that. Smart play. Smart play. He did the exact same thing again, where stopping that move, instead of dropping a wall or capturing it or something like that, he plays a flat to make it so making that move would be a loss. I love those plays. dopeMedic's done that twice with that same position here. This also frees him up to, on the next turn, if he gets the chance, to capture left with this wall and hopefully bait White into smashing or into letting him smash this wall stack. Any of those would be great. I think it's a solid position right now for Black. White does have a lot of options still, and this is certainly not over. It's still anyone's game at this point. But I do really like Black's positioning here. White taking his time, down to 4 minutes on the clock. Still over a 3-minute buffer between these two players. And we do look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 empty spaces here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 for White. 15 for black, including Comey. So that is a huge flat count differential. $15 to $11. $15 to $11. So black is in a pretty strong position here. White really wants to recover this stack on e2. Being able to do that could potentially turn this whole game around. White plays at e5. Okay, I'd say black should capture onto d3 now with this wall. 2e3 left, I'd say, is the move to make. That's got to be it. 2e3 left. Yeah, do it, do it. This play up here at e5, I've been wanting white to make that for a while. It's not a threat, but it's one move away from one. If black comes left with this wall, it also cuts off what he's doing with the e5 placement. It does the same thing. So that works doubly. It stops what he's just doing now. I say, yeah, 2e3 left is probably the right move here. Sets him up for the smash and the double threat. After that, white has one move to make, and that's d1 left. And that cuts off both of those threats. But it does still leave black in possession of this big stack. So that's pretty strong. I really like that move setup. But I'm not sure if dopeMedic's going to be playing that. He does. He plays that. I think he's going for the smash. I believe white's probably going to see it. But white can't move this left or right. He could move it down. Moving it down would work. Moving it up would also work because it would allow black to smash it still, but wouldn't be able to make a threat with that smash. And so white down to 2.5 minutes on the clock. This is when it starts to get really in my head for me, especially if I'm playing in a tournament game. If my clock gets down to 2.5 minutes on the clock, I start to panic and I make bad moves. Will, probably not that way. I know he's played down low on the clock a lot more than I have. I have a tendency to play way too quickly. And yeah, that's just how I roll, I guess. But dopeMedic at 6 minutes on the clock, so he still has a 4-minute buffer between these two players. dopeMedic has a lot more time to think on these moves. Will is going to have to play this one well, or he could land himself in a really tricky position. Because I see, if he gets the smash, and then we see d1 left. Okay, so he does bring it down. And this also opens up white for a road threat. So black has to stop the road threat here as well. Black could probably just play a flat here and be fine. A flat might be fine here. If only he had a4. If he had a4, that wouldn't have worked because white would have been able to throw this all the way to a2 and go for that road. But unfortunately, not able to do that. White unable to smash this wall or this one. Not that that one is too tempting, but this one is tempting. Unable to smash that because it would be a road for black. White captures onto this big stack, renews that threat. Black's got to capture this stack. A wall would work fine here at d2, but it would lead to white spreading upwards, and that would not be great for black. It would be a strong positive flat count differential move. White can still win this capture war, but it would weaken their position. And I think capturing, and then we see the E1 plus. If that happens, then we just see a wall at d2. But if white drops a wall to capture the stack, black just drops a wall next to it. So if white drops a wall here, nope, captures up. Okay, so this is where black should wall here at d2. Yeah, black should wall at d2 to stop this. Black should definitely not move this wall. But white's going to spread this upward. Oh, he's throwing down first. He's trying to limit white's ability to spread as much by bringing that flat down. Ooh, I think that was a bad play. I think he needed to place the wall at d2. Because white's going to spread this left. Or how far can he? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so he's got to leave. If he wants white in possession of this, he's got to leave it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's got 5 here. Just takes it to the right. This is a threat now. Black could, I guess, recapture here. But I think that would work better for white. This is a threat in 2 directions. He's got to recapture, actually. The only move he can make here is 4e2 right. Because this is a threat going left and up. Really solid moves here from white, for sure. That was a great play. I didn't see that one coming, that stack movement. But it is a threat in both directions. And that's his only move. And I'm sure white either drops a wall or captures here with f1. But if he drops a wall, puts him farther behind on flat count, so he captures. Black probably drops another wall here. Yep, they drop a wall there. That's good. White's likely spreading up, but they've got to leave behind a lot. They've got to leave behind at least these 5 pieces, starting with this black one. So if they want to retain control of this, they've got to leave behind all of these 6. Oh man, that's a big stack especially for a game with players this good. 11 pieces in a stack is pretty tall for a tournament game with guys this good. Oh my goodness, 15 seconds on the clock for Will. Trying to calculate how best to spread that stack down below 10 seconds. We see the red numbers. Okay, he does spread upwards. Black immediately takes that wall over. This is looking pretty rough for white. White brings that capstone over. I say if I'm black, just drop a flat here at d4, right? Just drop a flat at d4. That means he can't smash this and recapture the stack. But then likely e5 comes down if he does that. Oh, it's a tricky spot, but black does have a lot more time. He's got 3.5 minutes, whereas Will has 20 seconds. However, him taking this time to think about it does give Will more time to think about what to play on the next turn. Actually, can he win? He might be able to win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can he spread this? So 1, black. No, I don't think he can win. I don't think he can win because this has 7. White. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. White, black, black. Yeah, wouldn't be able to win all the way. Just off by 1. Because it's 7 tall, it needs to be 6 tall. And we're seeing that here in the chat. People talking about it. Because the carry limit is 6. What? Oh, that's a road threat. I was wondering what the heck he was doing with A1 plus. But yes, that is a road threat. Brings the wall up. Is he going to play it A4? He does. Is this Tinuë? No, white comes left. Black smashes. Yeah, black smashes here, I think. Maybe? I don't really know. It was a tough spot. Yeah, black should smash here. That also gives black a way to spread right all the way to this end if white manages to get this stack. Does go for the smash. This is a threat now for black. White drops a wall. Black drops a flat. This is now a road threat for black. Smashing or going right. Black captures up or left. Either one. Yeah, this is Tinuë for black. Man, that was a good game. That was a good game. Oh, I guess it's not Tinuë. I didn't see that move. Great play. Great play. Yeah, that was a great play. Not Tinuë. I was way ahead of myself. This is an even better game than I thought. Now, black may decide to come right with this wall on E3 to stop the smash. That wouldn't be too bad. Gotta think of something, though. And now dopeMedic's down below a minute on the clock. And Will up to 30 seconds with that 10-second increment. Black makes the spread. Potentially hoping to bait something. I think at this point, white just smashes. Oh, no, white can't smash because of this. Yeah, white can't smash. And so white comes left and might go right back to threaten that same move again. Or might be baiting black to spread upwards. Black comes left, makes their own threat for the smash. Oh, I like it. This is fun. This is a good one. Now, if white decides to block by bringing this wall up, black smashes, and I think that's Tinuë. But then this wall can come down instead. Oh, he missed the road. Black is able to come down, smash onto c3, and take the win. Wow. I mean, he had 5 seconds on the clock when he moved. Oh, undo. It must have been a misclick. I guess it was a misclick. I wouldn't have offered. I don't know. Only if it's a misclick would I have offered the undo. Or accepted the undo, rather. Smashing it is tempting. Doesn't go for it. Instead, sets this up. Oh man, this is getting nuts here, especially with 20 seconds on the clock for both players. Now, dopeMedic is lower on time than Will. He's used up his time buffer. I guess he could bring this all the way left, this stack again. Doesn't do it, and he placed instead. That's not a threat for him. White might be able to do something here. And white's ahead on flats. So they're both placing, trying to end this on flats. Black is able to determine when this ends on flats. Black still has a solid positive flag count differential move to play. White's making a threat, though. This is now a attack threat for white. White can come down, smash. Black makes a move. White smashes. This is attack threat now for white again. And it is not Tinuë yet. If white... Okay, white comes down. Still not Tinuë, but dang is it close. Black comes all the way over with the capstone stack. I didn't see that one coming. That was a good move. They're both so low on time, but Will is now much higher on time. Black can... I was expecting black to come up with the wall, but instead wants to keep that capstone wrangled in. Black's lower on reserve, so he can sort of determine when this game ends, and he wants to be ahead on flats when that happens. This is a really tricky endgame, especially when you only have 20, 30 seconds left on the clock. White comes up with the capstone to keep black from doing any more shenanigans over there. Black comes right with that wall. White goes for the smash. Black captures up instead of using this capstone stack? That's surprising. Oh, because black can bring this wall right. Yeah, black probably going to take e3 right now. Yep. It's just silly now. Yeah, it is a little just silly now. With all these stack movements. I think black should come out on top of this whole exchange. I can't imagine white wins at this point. But there are still plenty of moves to be made. White might still come out on top. This is where black needs to bring this capstone right now, because that's really strong. Oh, man. Yeah, there's no other move. But he's left that stack behind. That's bigger than I expected. Wall comes over. My goodness, this is a madhouse. It's impossible to predict how this is going to turn out now. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for white. 12 for black. But now that was a net 0 move in terms of flat count differential. But he's building for something. Apparently white missed a road on 49. I'll have to go back and look at that. What's the flat count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Black needs to place a flat now. And I think he'll be able to win on the next turn. Oh, I think if he played a flat here, he would have won. I think black would have won if he'd played a flat. But I'm not sure how this is all going to turn out now. I think white's going to spread a little bit left and be able to come up for a road. Yeah, it does do that. Able to come up for a road and kill that flat count differential there. I guess white can just place here at D2. Yeah, I feel like black needed to place a flat a couple moves ago, and he would have won, just guaranteed. Ooh. But now I think white's got this in the bag. White wins. Wow, that was a battle there. I got to see what 49 was that white missed the road. Yep, white did miss the road. Coming down would have done it. They missed their road on 49. But they did win, ultimately. I think here... Hold on. On turn 58. And also on 59, I think. So here, let's look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for white. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 for black. So black played here. There's nothing that white could have done to stop that, and it would have been a win on flats. But again, at 49, white did have a road that he missed as well. But congratulations and well played to both players. That second game for sure was fantastic, and it was a battle. Really well done. Congratulations to Will for winning, and congratulations to dopeMedic for winning second place. But that was a really, really great game. Really fun to see these two players. Definitely neither of them are considered intermediate anymore. We would definitely consider these top-notch competitors. So, well played. Congratulations to both, really. And thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to check out the description below for all things TAK, especially the TAK Discord server, which is where you can find all sorts of TAK resources like strategy guides and people to play with, whether that be right here on playtak.com or asynchronously in the Discord, or you can even find people to play with in person because we have a map of where a lot of these players are located, in general at least. And thanks again for watching. That is all for today. So until next time, have a great day and happy tacking.